watch. Weather alert, blizzard conditions up for tomorrow, our third nor'easter in less than 2 weeks.
And you might want to try and comfort yourself through this one, but when it's hitting both commutes.
Oh, it's just all day. It's going to be all day.
There's no part of the day.
It's a hunker down day. I got a couple tweets, people saying like, I'm not getting fooled again, going up for the mac and cheese and the bacon, again, make sure you have the right supplies ready for this storm. It's a hunker down day, no question about it. All right, so let's look at some headlines as we dig in to our next nor'easter. The snow arrives overnight, and as Paula mentioned, it's pretty much all day. It'll be with us from the morning right through the evening, and then late tomorrow night, that snow will start to taper down. Now, at its peak, rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour throughout the morning into the early afternoon. Blizzard conditions in eastern Massachusetts. Some strong gusts at the coast up to 65 miles per hour. That'll bring in some minor coastal flooding. And yes, this one will qualify for bombogenesis. The last one did not, by the way. It did not deepen as quickly as you need to reach that criteria. It's 24 millibars in 24 hours. And a drop in pressure matters for us because it increases the wind speeds and the intensity of the storm. So this afternoon is at 998 millibars as it passes east of Nantucket. Tomorrow evening, it'll be down to about 968 or so. So we're talking a 30 millibar drop in 24 hours. So there you go. It'll reach the official criteria. Then we look at the snowfall. This area will be pushing its way northward overnight tonight and really filling in as we head toward tomorrow morning. So tonight we fall in the upper 20s to low 30s. The snow will arrive right around 3 a.m. There are a couple snow showers out there this evening. Those are ocean effect. They're not the main part of the storm. That main shield of snow moves up early in the morning, and by 6 a.m. it's snowing just about everywhere across the area. And although initially it's a little bit on the mild side with some middle 30s out there, as we head toward late morning, temperatures will fall in the 20s to low 30s. This is going to give us a drier snow type, so it's not going to be that heavy, wet cement that we saw with the last storm system. This is going to dry out as the day wears on. Even toward Cape Cod, we'll start off with a very wet snowfall. It will start to get a little bit drier as we head into the afternoon and evening. And then slowly tomorrow night, there'll still be areas of snowfall around, but the intensity will drop off. And by Wednesday morning, we're fully drying out. Talking 14 to 18 inches, at least in eastern Massachusetts, basically from a 495 eastward, and some pockets of up to 2 feet are possible in southeastern Mass. That's where we'll see some of the strongest banding likely form from southeastern Massachusetts up toward Boston. Outer Cape Cod in that 10 to 14, same story for Martha's Vineyard, as well as central Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, and then 6 to 10 if your travels take you toward western Mass for tomorrow. As for that snow type, mentioned mainly dry inland. Initially, it'll be wet in eastern Mass, but then it dries out. Your wettest snow type will be toward Cape Cod and the islands. It's also where you get your strongest wind gusts, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and Cape Ann. So those are also your highest risk areas for power outages. They're not going to be as widespread as the last storm, but there will be some scattered outages and a lot of blowing and drifting of that snowfall as it starts to dry out. Now, in terms of coastal flooding, minor to a few pockets of moderate coastal flooding. Astronomical tides are low, so we're starting at a low point. But we'll still see about a 3-foot storm surge, so that will bring in water, especially toward the South Shore, Cape Cod, and Nantucket. And then a lot more erosion is possible with this one, especially toward the Outer Cape. I know it's been a really rough stretch. This weekend, they actually tore down the farthest east house in Eastham, and of course with 78 we lost the outermost house. Begs the question, which one is going to be next, unfortunately, toward Cape Cod. There are those high tide times right around mid-morning for tomorrow, and then afterwards not a lot of melting. We've got more daylight, we've got a strong March sun angle, but high temperatures are in the 30s right on through Saturday. It'll also be quite windy on Thursday and Friday as we wrap up the week. Then, I know we don't want to talk about it, but just so you're mentally prepared, the pattern is staying locked in. So as we look toward next week, Tuesday into Wednesday, there's a chance for another wintry nor'easter here. That'll be 4 in a row. So we'll see if it misses. But right now, looks pretty ominous for next week also. What can you say about the 7-day, except for it's dry on St. Patrick's Day, and Sunday looks nice for the parade. There you go.
And we are not mentally prepared.